Hi, my name is Katie Hutchinson Graue, and I am from the graduating class of 1999.
And I'm Chad Graue. I'm from the graduating class of 2001.
And we are so proud and so blessed to have the opportunity to speak with you today and help you incorporate some healthier habits into the new year.
When we thought about the many things that we could share with you today, one of the things that we thought would make the biggest impact for you that we've had success in incorporating ourselves is how we plan and prepare foods, some basic foods into our diet when we have a prep day, so that in the middle of our week we have more of a plan, we have more confidence in the foods that we're eating, that they're healthy choices, healthier choices for ourselves and our family. So today we want to give you a sneak peek to some of our favorites. So when it comes to preparation day, one of the food groups that we commonly prepare a large quantity of is some form of carbohydrate. Typically it's brown rice or quinoa. Sometimes we'll do couscous as well. But quinoa and brown rice seem to be the most nutritionally dense that go with a large variety of items. So we typically buy them in bulk. Many grocery stores have a bulk section now. It's a little bit less costly. And then we buy these containers like at Bed Bath & Beyond, and we have those. We label them so we know what's what. And then we prepare them, and then we refrigerate them in large plastic containers. So both with brown rice and quinoa, the two that we prepare most commonly, it's very simple. You can use a rice cooker or steamer, or you can prepare on your stovetop. And you simply take twice as much water than rice or quinoa. For example, if you want to make a cup of uncooked rice, then you use 2 cups of water. And it just sometimes it depends. It takes 15 to 20 minutes in the microwave. If you use a steamer, it will take longer than that to cook brown rice on the stove. We like short grain with brown rice. It seems to have a little bit more texture. And then with quinoa, it takes less time. So that's one of the benefits of quinoa. It also does have a higher protein content as far as carbohydrates go, so that's a great thing that you can incorporate even within your breakfast. But that's one that takes about 15 minutes on the stovetop, and it's really simple to prepare. Another common food that we prepare on preparation day are lentils. Now, lentils are a great nutritious option. It's a great way to incorporate more fiber into your diet. As you know, if we can find foods that help to naturally lower our cholesterol and regulate our blood sugar, then we want to do that. So lentils are great. You can buy canned lentils. They may have a little bit of sodium. And really, they don't take long to prepare as a dried bean. And actually, compared to other dried beans or legumes that we may try to cook at home, you don't have to soak them. They cook very quickly in about 15 to 20 minutes. And they will take on the flavor of what they are prepared in. So if you cook them in broth, again, watch the sodium on the broth you use, but they are more flavorful that way. You can also incorporate some dried herbs. I tend to typically just boil ours in water until they get to the texture that I like. But again, they're very versatile. They can go in soups, or you can just incorporate them with a lean protein for your dinner or lunch. One of the foods that we have more commonly incorporated into our diet the last few years are sweet potatoes. Honestly, I did not used to be a fan of sweet potatoes, but as I've learned to prepare them and ways that I can enjoy them that are lower calorie, I have enjoyed them more consistently. So first off, there's a lot of reasons why we should incorporate sweet potatoes into our diet. They're one of the most nutrient-dense carbohydrates that you can pick. They are a little bit sweet, so it's kind of almost like a little snack on your dinner plate. But they're high in beta-carotene, they're high in vitamin C and antioxidants, and they certainly help to regulate your blood sugar, certainly compared to a normal red or russet potato. So key is balance, not to always only have potatoes, but to try to incorporate in a sweet potato. So we most commonly will bake them in the oven on prep day. They take about 35 to 55 minutes depending on the size of the sweet potato. Some of them can get pretty large and they are harder to bake. But we personally don't wrap ours in foil. I will put a piece of foil on the bottom of the oven just to catch anything that drips from the sweet potato as it cooks. But we wash them, we make certain that they're dry, and then we put them in the oven. Again, anywhere from 375 to 400 degrees. I'll do 4 to 6 at a time, and then that's what I have here is I have some that we prepped this past prep day and keep them in a plastic container in the refrigerator, and then it's a matter of a 1.5 minute reheat as part of a meal. But I just would challenge you and encourage you to incorporate sweet potatoes into your diet. You do not have to overload them with butter and brown sugar and marshmallow cream to make them tasty. You can just put a little cinnamon on top, mix in some sliced almonds or walnuts, and I promise that you will enjoy them.
Raw veggies are an excellent source of vitamins and minerals that you can easily incorporate into your daily diet. And I want to encourage you to choose things that have, again, a variety of color, and just start incorporating more and more of those into your diet, because they are so low in calorie and so high in nutritional value that this is one of the things that you really cannot overeat. Unless, of course, you are, the only place you have to be careful with is if you're incorporating veggie dips or certain salad dressings and things with those vegetables. Those are the things you have to be careful of because of the sugar content, the fat content that are in those dips and dressings. But other than that, the vegetables alone are a very high source of nutritional value and a very low source of calories, which is great. So you want to eat these raw, you want to cook them, you want to incorporate these with salads, and when you get home from the grocery store, you want to immediately wash and prep, put them in Ziploc baggies, such as I have the green peppers here, and I do the same thing with cauliflower, broccoli. I do the same thing with my celery stalks, and then you also want to give your tomatoes a rinse. These can actually stay out on the counter. Most of our vegetables, after we prep them, they go into the refrigerator, but your tomatoes can stay out on the counter. And we like to use heirloom tomatoes because they offer a variety of different colors, which is, again, higher nutritional value. Cucumbers are another wonderful thing that I love to incorporate with my raw veggies. They're absolutely super refreshing. And another thing that you can do with these cucumbers is you can add them to your drinking water to make your drinking water more refreshing as well. I like to use these English cucumbers, which come individually wrapped. And you want to make sure that when you get home from the grocery store that you go ahead and unwrap these cucumbers, and you want to just quickly rinse them off. And then they're perfect for dicing up for salads or to eat on their own. The only thing that I do not typically do anything with when I get home from the grocery store is carrots. And we buy carrots in bulk because, again, it's cost effective. But I typically will leave the carrots alone, and I prep those, skin the carrots and cut those up as we're going to eat them, just because I think they stay a little bit more moist and fresh in doing that. However, again, you can purchase carrots that are already prepped for you. However, I've typically strayed away from doing that because of some of the processes that the companies will use when they are packaging those prepared carrots for you. Some of the nutritional value is depleted from that just in their processing. So I want to encourage you, again, to think outside the box a little bit, to incorporate a variety of color with your vegetables, and to not be afraid to try new things, and to use vegetables not only as part of your meal, but as part of your snack. Personally, I love fresh vegetables with hummus, and there's a wide variety of hummus choices out there that you can use. That's, again, a very healthy snacking, dipping choice. So, happy snacking.
All right, now Katie just shared how you can incorporate raw vegetables as a snack or as part of a meal. Now I want to take a few minutes to explain a few of the ways that we prepare and cook some of our vegetables that we buy raw. So steaming is the first, and if you do not have one of these little steamer baskets in your life, I would highly recommend you do that. They're inexpensive, $10 or less, and basically what you do is you set this inside of a saucepan or inside of a large pot, and there are legs in the bottom, and then you fill water, maybe about 1/2 inch of water beneath it, and then as you turn on your stove, then that will boil the water and steam your vegetables. Clearly, to steam the vegetables, you want to have the lid on. The other tip that I would have is as you're preparing and steaming vegetables, you want to make certain that your pieces are about the same size so that you don't overcook some pieces and undercook others. It doesn't take long, maybe 3 minutes for most vegetables. Carrots, sometimes we do steam carrots, they take a little bit longer, they're more dense. But like zucchini is done really quick, maybe probably about 2 minutes. But some of our most common vegetables that we steam are broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, squash. We will do asparagus, and those are some of the more common ones that we use. Again, don't overdo it. You'll cook out the nutrients, and they'll taste blah as they get mushy. Shouldn't taste mushy. They should have texture. The second way that we cook vegetables are that we oven roast. So basically, we basically will fill an entire pan, oven pan that you see here with vegetables, and we use a large variety. Again, same type of things. We do red onions, we'll do portobello mushrooms, we'll do squash, we'll do carrots, we'll do green peppers. Sometimes we will toss or put a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes on top, just add a little bit more flavor. You can put fresh herbs on top or like dried herbs. Sometimes there's the grinders that you can buy, like with an Italian or a Mediterranean blend of seasoning that you can season the vegetables with. And it's really simple. It doesn't take long, maybe 25 minutes or so. And again, just kind of cook them to the doneness that you like. But again, try not to overcook or burn, because then they obviously don't taste as good. But again, we then just store then what we prepare in these plastic containers, and it's a matter of a 1-minute reheat during the middle of our busy week. So again, steaming and oven roasting vegetables, it's not hard. Hopefully that you'll just try it in this upcoming week. Even pick a few choices to get onto your family's menu, onto your menu, and just give it a try.
Let's talk fruit. So everybody knows that fruit is a nutritional part of everybody's balanced diet, and I want to help you get the most out of your fruit. So I want to share a couple of tips and tricks that my family uses to help incorporate fruits into our daily diet. And the first thing I want to talk about is when grocery shopping, you want to make sure to look for things that are seasonal. Seasonal fruits are going to provide the best cost value, and they're going to provide the best taste. So that's a very important tip. Secondly, I wanted to encourage you to provide or to purchase things that have a lot of color. Color equals more nutritional value, as we all know. So when we're doing things that are seasonal and lots of color. Thirdly, I want you to think about convenience, because if it's not convenient, you know, in these busy lives that we have, we're not going to do it. We're not going to incorporate things that are not easy for us to do, right? So a couple of things that I like to do in convenience packaging are things like pineapple, such as I have here. Fresh cut pineapple takes a little bit more time once you get home from the grocery store to prep and prepare. So I like to just purchase it already cut and prepared for me. So all I have to do when I'm ready to eat pineapple is just simply take it out of the container and eat it. Same thing goes for grapefruit. Grapefruit is another thing that I like to purchase in convenience packaging. And so when you get home from the grocery store, you've purchased your seasonal fruit, you've purchased things with lots of color, you've purchased things that are going to be convenient for you to take out of the refrigerator and incorporate into your daily diet. Next, you want to make sure that you wash everything. Really, really important. My husband and I typically just, there are all kinds of fancy cleaners, fruit cleaners out there. We typically just, kind of rinse them off, soak them for a few minutes in a sink with partial vinegar and partial water. And that usually will take care of everything for you. But after you wash your fruits, you want to make sure that you're storing them in a place where you're going to see them every day, regularly. Same thing, especially if you have kids. You want to make sure that, like when you open the refrigerator, you have those fruits on a lower shelf where you can see those, and that they're going to be easy to grab, or on the doors where they're easily to grab there inside the refrigerator. And or keep a bowl of apples or oranges or something out on the counter where it's going to remind you, to make those healthier choices when you're selecting a snack. And lastly, I would like to talk about storage, because we all know that sometimes we purchase things with the intentions of eating them, and they start to go bad before we can get to them. So things like mixed berries, for example. I like to simply put those in a Ziploc bag if it's starting to be close to the end of the week and I've not going through them as quickly as I like. I put the berries in a Ziploc bag and I simply toss them in the freezer to pull out at a later date to use them on top of oatmeal or to incorporate into different recipes. So berries are a great thing to put in the freezer. Grapes are another great thing to put in the freezer because they taste amazing when you eat them frozen, number one. And bananas are another thing. I don't know if you've ever thought to freeze your bananas, but this is a tip that has helped me tons, because bananas, as you know, go bad so quickly. And all you have to do to freeze bananas is, I would encourage you to peel them first and then cut them in half and simply stick the halves of the bananas into a Ziploc bag and freeze those again for later use in fruit smoothies or different recipes. And I hope that you have enjoyed my tips and tricks. I hope that this makes incorporating fruit into your diet an easier and more fun opportunity for you to incorporate lots of nutrition into your diet. Thank you.
All right, so we've talked about some carbohydrates, we've talked about some vegetables. Now I want to talk about how you can incorporate some lean protein into your diet. So one of the things that's very common for us is we will purchase at the store bulk bags of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I try to get all natural or hormone free to the extent that I can. I don't currently buy organic all the time because it's kind of cost prohibitive. It's like $11 or $12 a pound at many places. So I do buy chicken either in the freezer section, or I will buy fresh chicken breasts, or I will buy a pork tenderloin or pork chops. And I typically like to marinate those overnight in a Ziploc bag after they've defrosted if they're frozen. The thing that I use most commonly are McCormick seasoning packets. I'm sure that you can incorporate your own seasoning at home. I haven't yet done that. It's been on my mind, but I haven't yet incorporated that yet. But the packets basically you mix up with some olive oil and some red wine or white wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar, and water. And then again, you put everything in a plastic or a Ziploc bag and you refrigerate it overnight. Gives it a great flavor, makes it more tender, and then it's really easy. The next morning we set it out, and depending on the time of year, I will either grill it all out, I will sear it or saute it rather on the stove. I've roasted it in the oven with foil over the top in a 13 by 9 baking dish, or I have put it in the crock pot. So it's whatever way that you like to incorporate those lean proteins into your diet. If I do light the grill, I typically try to fill the entire grill. So it could be that I have pork chops on there, that I have some venison on there, that I have grilled veggies on there, that I have vegan Italian sausages on there. Many things you can do. Just try to make the most of your time and incorporate as much as you can on your prep day. And that's one thing that lean proteins is really easy to incorporate those into your prep day and get lots for the upcoming week.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. And we wanted to share with you that this is a continuous learning process for us as well, but we choose to invest the time in doing that because it's a proactive, healthy thing for us to do for ourselves and for our family. So we hope that you have at least one takeaway that you'll share with us from the video that you just watched that you're going to start implementing right away. And we would love to correspond with you.
We would like to hear from you, and probably the best place for us to connect would be on our website, which is thegroues.com. You will have access to a free 10-day video series that we did that goes into much more detail about the planning and preparation that we do to incorporate getting these healthy foods into our lifestyle. Again, it's for 10 days. It's called the Plan and Prep Training Camp. You basically get an email every day for 10 days with more details. So you will also see that we do work with people on getting active with a fitness program on our website as well. So at any rate, we just want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I want to wish you a happy and healthy new year. Take care.
Thank you.